Hello, living in Boulder vlog for July 5th, 2019, Friday. It's 10:57 a.m. Um, Yesterday I was working on buildings of Atlantis on the islands, the part of Atlantis everybody thinks about when they or sees when you Google Atlantis. Plato says that Atlantis extended all the way out to 9.25 kilometers out from the farthest ring, which makes it 23 and a half. I'm really high right now, by the way. I just woke up and just got really stoned, which makes it 23 and a half kilometers in diameter. So, and he said the entire area was jam packed with people, like that was the city. So, but right now, like yesterday, I was doing the buildings in the islands because I guess, save that for the end of the actual city. So yesterday, yeah, just a bunch of just touching up the heights of the islands and stuff, adjusting that. And then I had a ganders at the temple, and decided to build the temple because before it was just a block, and it's the main temple with the most details, so I should do some more with it. So I decided to build it out of Baalbek stones. If you know Baalbek, the giant stone that's just by itself sitting out halfway out of the dirt. It's like 1,000 tons. It's 21 meters long by 5.5 meters wide. And I think theirs was 4.5 meters high, but I've made mine 5.5 meters high. Maybe theirs is 5 high, but theirs were kind of different sizes. But that's the size of the block that I used to build my Baalbek out of. They said it was covered in silver, so made it look silvery, flashy silver. And then he even described a bunch of stuff inside it. He said there's 100 Nereids, which are like mermaids. And I was kind of debating last night if I wanted to make 100 mermaid statues inside of it, because there's also pillars. I could do a row of pillars, and then there's a Triton. There's a god on it. There's a god on a chariot, being pulled by 6 winged horses, 6 Pegasuses. So I was kind of wondering if I wanted to build that inside the temple. I don't know. But I put the temple not. Plato says the temple's in the center of the island, but I did some poetic license and I made sure that that wasn't in the center because it wasn't pretty enough. It's just this boring 185-meter long by 90-meter wide, square building. I accidentally made it 200 meters by 100 meters. I don't know why. And then I noticed that after I was already done building it. So, but whatever, it's close enough to the real size. I put the Pyramid of Giza in the middle because you can see it from all edges of the city, and I wanted something more visible in the middle. So, and everybody else does it too in their drawings of Atlantis. So, yesterday I also collected screenshots of the top 9. So I need to get on one more, the 10th. Tallest statues in the world, because he said, well, Plato said along the outside of the temple, and I think he meant along the outside of the inside of the temple. So like in the inside of the temple, around the edges, you have all these statues. He didn't say how many, but they're like of the descendants of the 12 original Atlanteans, or the 10 original Atlanteans. And then there were 100 Nereids, and then there was the god on the chariot. And then there was an altar in the top. So, I yeah. He also said it had a strange barbaric appearance, and so that's why I justified kind of building it out of the blocks. It looks just kind of like a stack of blocks. So, yeah. So I'm. But I mean, so he said he liked statues, so I figured, all right, fuck it, let's just go ahead and put all the big statues on the island, even because I'm kind of curious to know what they look like anyway. I don't think I've ever made a model or seen well, I forgot to look, but 3D model of all the statues together. So I already sized them, and so last night before I passed out at like 3 in the morning, I got two of them, the two tallest, and I put them here on the island, like next to each other, and then I'll put the other ones. The biggest statues in the world are a lot bigger than the Statue of Liberty. I want to see, but and then I have to redraw the Colosseum because the first time somehow I drew it too small, and it wasn't really detailed anyway. I want to draw it again and make it detailed because I was drawing in some theaters and I made them kind of detailed. So it looks better that way. So, yeah. Oh, and then I noticed because I didn't notice all these details the first like couple times I read Plato describing Atlantis, even though it wasn't that much. There's a lot of details. So he said the bridge was actually 30 meters wide, which he said it was a sixth of a stadia, a sixth of 185 meters. Um, but my bridge and my roads are 15 meters wide, exactly one half. So that's symmetrical. I'll just double the width of the bridges, not the roads themselves. I was thinking about it, but he's just talking about the bridges, and it makes sense you do it to the bridges because you need wide for traffic because you don't have as many bridges as roads. So yeah, I just double the width of the bridges. Um, he was talking about, oh, and then I have to put towers on the bridges. So I'm gonna put these like maybe a replica of some kind of big tower on the bridges as they go into the center. I guess as they go into every island. Yeah, I actually already have some towers going into the biggest island though. So maybe I'll just consider that what he's talking about. So it's just those two things that I have to do, and then the build the statues, and then build the statues. That'll be interesting to see how I do that. I don't want to do it with too much, detail, take too long, but I guess as soon as I do that, I'm done because I filled up the other part, the downtown area, with buildings. The last building that I put was the amphitheater of Cassenstre in Rome. There's this other amphitheater, like it's like a mini Colosseum. It's a tenth the size of the Colosseum, and I think in capacity as well as in like diameter, but or circumference. But it was incorporated into the wall of Aurelian, and you can still see it. So all I did was a screen capture. So, and I built that with some detail. What I do, like after like the polygon tool on Google Earth, it's kind of like drawing. It's like 3-dimensional drawing. Um, like when I want to build the amphitheater of Cassestre, I just drew, a donut to represent the outer level where people walk around and around the outside, and then I put two for the stands, just one and then another one lower, and then I did a third level of just the ground area. So all I did was hide them and color them, and boom, there's my amphitheater, and it looks good. So you can do a lot with the polygon tool. Making a little cartoon world. So yeah, but this will probably take all day. So, but I mean, maybe I'll finish today. Yeah, but Atlantis is turning out to be really, really, really nice. So, I'm definitely want to take my time for when I do the island part too. So, but hopefully I'll get started with that maybe tonight. That'll be fun. All right, closing in on 10 minutes. Every one of my videos are like right under 10 minutes, just like in the good old days. All right, talk to you tomorrow.